gonna call it God's stars. Wasaguingwe hui, gonna call it God's stars. Gonna call it God's stars. Wasaguyu ingwe hui, gonna call it God's stars.
Is there anyone here that's never been to a powwow before? Welcome, 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 welcome. A powwow is Native American people's way of embracing our heritage. Our powwows are ways for us to express our Indianness. Most of us have jobs through the week. And we come here on the weekends to sing in our native tongue and dance in our native way to honor our ancestors. And we also honor all the people that cannot dance and sing. So we really take a lot of pride in the things that we do. We welcome you all to take pictures. Take as many pictures as you like. There will be times possibly during the powwow when pictures will not be allowed, and we will notify you if that occurs. It will only happen during certain times during the powwow. But please respect that. If we ask you to put down your camera, please do so. We're asking for a reason. And the main reason is it's during a very spiritual time, and we really don't allow cameras to be run during those times when those type of things happen. But I do encourage you to take as many pictures as you like. If you want to come upon a dancer and take a picture of him individually or her, please ask before snapping the photo.
He still likes to bark those commands. Are we ready? All righty, everybody stand, headgear off, medicine horse. Give us a good song for grand entry. Mr. Boone. POW flag chiefman is Todd. Forebears DePriest. Thank you, Mr. DePriest. All of our veterans have come into the circle. They're followed by our beautiful princess, Cheroenhaka Nottoway princess. Followed by our tribal elders. Thank you all so much for being a part of this today. The head dancers lead all of the dancers in. That is Mike and Jeannie Cranford. Let's give them a round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. They are followed by our men's traditional dancers and modern day warriors. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Let them hear it, ladies and gentlemen. Awesome. For an entry, we're going to call on Southland to give us a flag song, please. Post colors. Army, Navy, Marines, Coast Guard, Air Force. We ask all of you to come forward so that we may honor you and say, very simply, thank you, thank you, thank you. Let the applause continue on, ladies and gentlemen. Don't be embarrassed, don't be scared. These people sacrificed a whole lot to make sure that we could do the things that we love so much and containing and keeping our culture alive. So thank you, thank you, thank you. We're all aware that so many of these veterans may not have had a welcome home. We want to tell you, welcome home. Thank you, thank you, thank you for your service.
brother. Thank you. Thank you, brother. Thank you, brother. Thank you, brother. Appreciate it. Thank you, brother. Appreciate it. Thank you, brother. Thank you, sister. Thank you, sister. Thank you, brother. Every time you here, I'm so glad to see you. Thank you, brother. Appreciate it. Thank you, brother. I like that bowl, man. Thank you, brother. Thank you, brother. Thank you, sister.
Good morning. Wakwa Santitang. Today I'm going to read you our drum song, my heart song, Sasanki Ivis. Tachana wihi kweka hante, great creator. Santitang wakoste dortanhara, morning strong prayer. Sasanki Ivis, my heart song. Ii tharahanta hahinu, I hear the thunder. Ii vaskahi yaut ach, I see the rain. Ii swaware yatach, I touch the wind. Hoke ina oter, yes, Mother Earth. Hoke achro kweka wintika, yes, Father Sky. Hoke tachana wintika, yes, Great Spirit. Santitang wakoste dar tanhara, morning strong prayer. Sasanki Ivis, my heart song. Santitang wakoste dar tanhara, morning strong prayer. Ii swarore ina oter, I touch Mother Earth. Ii swarore achro kweka wintika, I touched Father Sky. Sasanke Ivis, my heart song. Just beautiful. Thank you so very much, Carol, for that.
Aho! Aho! Are you ready for a powwow? Are you ready? Are you ready to see some native dancers? Are you ready to hear some native drumming? Aho! Thanks, Ken.
The corn thrasher, if you see the bamboo, the old bamboo up here, this would go all the way across, and it was a rolling system. So you'd have a native boy on each side or a native woman on each side, and the corn would roll across the top, across the thrasher, and what that did was it removed the husk. So they would pull, 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 and the corn up there would be doing this across the thrasher. So that's going to strip the husk.
How did it sound good?
This piece here is the horns off a deer's head. And they would use that like a hammer to take the flakes off of this piece. They just trim it right on the leg, just like
Whoa, that is cool.
that. Yep. And
I want to try that. I really do.
you do. Maybe one day.
The Native Americans saw those English building those brick houses with their Benjamin Franklin stoves in them. What do you think they wanted? Or do you think they wanted a brick house with a stove in it? It was logical. That is why people accepted, and many Native Americans, especially in the Virginia and the East Coast area, the Iroquois speakers, were much more tolerant of the invader, okay, the colonials, because they were bringing things that fascinated them. They brought guns which replaced the bows and arrows. And
So our vocabulary is on file at the Philadelphia Institute of Religion in Pennsylvania. We walk the language because we believe that if you lose your language, you lose your culture. If you lose your culture, you lose your traditions. So I'm going to go over with some of the language with you today and teach you some language.
We wanna begin with a very special dance. We have a dance we call the dance of the Nawioli. There's a mandatory dance we have to begin with every single time when we perform in a ceremony, in a tradition, or just in a presentation.
We are Mexica, or you know us as Aztec Indians. We come from what is now considered the part of Mexico, Meclampia, which is now part of what you call America. And within there, we come from the part that is called Mexico. We still live in our indigenous land. We never left our land. And today, it is Mexico, Tenochtitlan is one of the largest cities in the world. It's known as today as Mexico City.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for coaching.
Oh, I'm still holding on to.
Thank you, man.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, guys. Thank you. 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 Thank you, man.
If you find one today that's 2,000 years old,
Whoa.
you could pick it up, put it on a stick, and still hunt with it today. It doesn't go bad. Like I said, unless it can get broken, but I can give you an example what happens when you break one too.
Yes, please.
See, this was a finished one, and it got broke. I shot it, it hit a rock, and it broke. I can take this piece, or either one of these pieces.
And still use that small
Well,
one.
I can take this little bit larger tool, and in just a short order, I can make this tool, this broken piece,
Into a...
well, we're gonna make it into a specialized tool.
Whoa.
And all I'm gonna do is take flakes from one side and make a little half moon shape in the side of this piece of broken piece.
Cool.
See, I made a little curved notch in there.
I see that.
And what this would be used for, I don't have an arrow with me, but we'll say this is an arrow shaft, like for your arrows. And that would be used as a spoke shave. You see the stuff scraping off of there?
Yeah, I see that stuff.
So that'd be used to smooth and round your arrow shafts to get them ready to make arrows
This
with.
is very cool.
Like I said, these artifacts in front of you date back as far as 12,000 BC and as early as 1700 AD. They all come from this localized Virginia area. It's made out of stone. Now you saw Stan back there doing the flint napping. All right, those ancient Indians took and made these tools just like Stan was doing it back there. You know, so in here we have Clovis points over here, 12,000 BC, as I said. These items in the center were used as jewelry. They take a bit of rawhide through the holes and string it around their necks. These little small triangular pieces over here are your true arrowheads. That is what was shot from the bow and arrow, okay? The rest of them are knives, scrapers, spear points, and those kinds of things. These items in here are ground working tools, and they're celts for woodworking, and these are axes here in the front. I have a small collection of pipes here that date back to the late 1800s. Here's some shark's teeth in here. And these are different types of tools, spear points, and whatever that the Indians made a very long time ago.
Now, I want you to greet our chief when we go there in Iroquois. So repeat after me. Wakwast Sunti Tung. That means good morning. Okay?
Okay, when I say D-shoe, you say star. When I say star, you say D-shoe. D-shoe.
Star!
Star.
D-shoe!
D-shoe.
Star!
Star.
D-shoe!
You guys are pretty good. You're pretty good. Now,
Right now it's got a little rain in it, but what they would do is they would take the log and bring it down. They would actually burn it because as the wood charred, it got softer and they could dig it out. So it was called a dugout canoe because that's what they did. Y'all can stay on the front side. They would take the shells after the burning. Sorry for the water. But after it was burned, they could take the shell and scrape and dig. And that is how they would make the canoe. Imagine how long it took to make a canoe.
Maybe 500 years.
Not that long.
Not
But,
15.
yeah, maybe.
Maybe.
I'd say at least a good year, at least.
the true name of my people is Cheroenhaka. Who can say it with me? Cheroenhaka. Cheroenhaka. It means people at the fork of the stream, where the two rivers, the Blackwater River and the Nottoway River, come together to form the Cheroen River. In that fork were three villages, Katasharak, Tanatara, and Rewante. That's one of the reasons why we named our village Katasharak, because that's an actual name of a Cheroenhaka Nottoway Indian village. But a lot of people are not aware that we are the only tribe in Virginia that ever had a standalone treaty with the Crown of England. In that particular treaty, we were relocated from what is now Sussex County into Southampton County, and in 1705, we had been granted 41,000 acres of reservation land here in what is now Southampton County, part of Isle of Wight, and part of Sussex County. 41,000. We were granted by the House of Burgess in 1705. That property began to be sold off in August of 1735. It was supposed to have been 500 acres a day, but they were doing 1,000 acres, okay? The last piece divided out between the tribal people was in 1875, and it was 575 acres. The last piece of the reservation land that disappeared in 1953. It belonged to the Sykes family, who were Cheroenhaka Nottoway Indian bloodline, and it was sold for taxes. So, 41,000 acres of reservation land disappeared. Now we have 263 acres. We're in the process of trying to put up a culture center and museum, a Native American worship center, and a wellness center. You may have seen the 4x8 sign when you came in off of Katasharak Drive on the left-hand side. We're in the process of trying to raise $1.2 million so we can build that. We have something like maybe, I don't know, 2,500 to 3,000 pieces of artifacts that we want to put into the museum. Okay, that's going to be points, arrows, scrapers, knives, etc. So let me share this with you. In 1965, 66, and 69, there were 131 skeletal remains of our ancestors dug up where the hand site is off 671 General Thomas Highway, and those of you from Southampton County know where that's located. 131 skeletal remains of my people were taken out of the ground, taken to the Smithsonian in Washington, D.C., and their bones are laying in shoe boxes at the Smithsonian. How would you like for somebody to go into your family cemetery, dig up your ancestors, and take them someplace and put them in a shoebox? The third time I went to the Smithsonian, they had transferred the skeletal remains to a museum in Suitland, Maryland. So I went there and took my friend George with me, and we talked about it. 3 months later, we get a letter saying, okay, you can get the skeletal remains back. Woo-hoo! So we're in the process now of doing letters, setting up the logistics for that so we can have them reinterred, and hopefully we're going to have a ceremony back here where we put them in the ground, okay, from which they came. So our history is well written. It's about 95% written. The majority of it is accurate. Some of it is not, okay, because people have a tendency to write to the color of their own persuasiveness. That's why we say, Native people, you need to write your own history. That's why when you go to my website, if you Google my name, Chief Walt Red Hawk Brown, the website comes up, and it's a drop-down menu. If you go to Tribal History and click on the ethno-historic snapshot of the Cheroenhaka Nottoway Indians, it would take you from 700 AD to the current time. Short bulletized sentences, okay, with all the history. Easy reading. It's about 22 pages. I would recommend you read that if you're interested in Native history, especially the Cheroenhaka Nottoway Indian tribe. So here we are. We're standing here. We're proud to be here. We were first, not second, not last. We were the first people in this country, okay? I don't know if we came across the Bering Strait, as some of my historians say, when the continents were hooked up together. I don't know. All I know is before anybody came here, before any colonial came, before any Viking came, we were already here. And that's what people need to remember, that we were first and that we're still here. 1851. What century is that? Is that the 19th century? Of course it's the 19th century. Okay? So we say, if in the 19th century, we're in what now, the 21st century? If in the 19th century, the Commonwealth of Virginia recognized us as a tribe, and surely the Commonwealth of Virginia is a part of the federal government. And there's never been any act, policy, or law to negate our tribal status. Why is it that people say, you need to prove to us that you are a tribe? Why? Why are we the only ethnicity in this country that have to prove who we are? Why? When the writings of the colonials have written to say who we are, why do we have to prove? But that's what we attack with. Well, you don't look Indian. Prove to me you're Indian. Well, if I come up to a white person and say, prove to me you're white. If I come up to an African American or a black person and say, prove to me you're black. We're the only race of people that's confronted with that. Nobody else. Why? Do they think we're going to take all the land back? I don't know. A bunch of land out west is being given back now because it was taken illegally. But anyway, we are here, and I say this. We walk the sacred circle of life. And we are making our tracks deep. You know why? Because we walk the sacred circle of life so that there'll be some good tracks for those that come after us, our children, to follow in. And that's what you have to do. Talk to your kids. Tell them about your history. Tell them about your lineage. Because when you walk on, because one day everybody's going to walk on, they will have something to grip with, to hang on to, about who they are. Don't leave them in the dark. And that's why we share our history. That's why we share it passionately, because we don't want to leave our people in the dark. We want them to know who we are, where we are, and that we're still here. I hope. In our Iroquois language, I leave you with this in our Iroquois language. Kwekahante, ii sanki tarahanta, Creator, my heart is here. Kwekahante, ii sanki vasfiki, Creator, my heart is seen. Kwekahante, ii sanki vasfika, Creator, my heart is spoken. Woo, woo, woo. I hope. Thank you.
So the Three Sisters Garden. Who knew what the Three Sisters Garden is? Who knows? Anybody? I see a hand. Go ahead.
Corn?
Yes.
Squash?
Yes.
Beans?
Yes.
Okay.
So we grew our garden. We dug a hole, put a fish in, made a mound. In the mound, the corn seed went in the middle. Beans went on all four areas on the side. So pip, 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 bean. On the ground, pip, 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 all around the mound, squash seed. Why? Does anyone know why it was done like that?
The cases with the red background are items that the Cheroenhaka Nottoway, I've curated for them, and they are local. They are from the Franklin area, Southampton County area, and areas where tribal villages were known to be.
Arena director has a bustle on his back. He also has a roach on his head. Some dancers will have what they call a feather that dances in that with the rocker, but he does not, but he can still rock that roach, right, coaches? I didn't say your rump, I said the roach. He also has on a breastplate.
Okay. But anyway, it's been a pleasure. I'm so glad you came. And I hope you had a chance to enjoy the village and get some of the history. Got a chance to read some of the walking trail signs in our Iroquois language and in language. We have 15 miles of walking trails out here, okay? There's a walking trail that goes all the way around. There's another walking trail that goes back to 3 ponds that we got back there. So, tour guys, take them, Kara, water blocks. Okay. Take them to the vendors. Okay. Thank you so very much. And I'm Chief Red Hawk. I'm chief of the Cheroenhaka. So can you say Cheroenhaka? Cheroenhaka! Means people at the fork of the stream.
Our oldest tribal member by the name of Mildred Star Moon Gray. She was 103 years old and she passed recently. So we're going to be doing an honor dance for her. I'm asking all the tribal, the head male, head female dancer to come in. And we're going to do an honor dance in remembrance of her. She shared a lot of great history. Okay, she's on the Cutler line. Matter of fact, my mother's great-grandfather, Curtis Cutler, and her grandfather, Tom Cutler, were brothers. Okay? And their genealogy goes back to, all the way back to William Cutler, who fought in the War of 1812. As a fifer in Blow's Regiment in Southampton County, and his father was Jonathan Cutler, who we're working now because we believe that he was in the Revolutionary War, and he was from Penningham, Massachusetts, and came here, was mustered out in Yorktown. But he was married to a purebred Cheroenhaka Nottoway Indian by the name of America, and she's from that line, okay? But anyway, this is her daughter here. I'm going to let you say a few words before we do the honor dance, okay? Please.
Giving honor to my God who's the head of my life. It's a pleasure being out here today in memory of my mother. Like she said, she's 103, and I spent the last 3 years taking care of her. I didn't see, we were at home when she passed away. She passed away on a Thursday at 2 a.m. in the morning, and I didn't see her take her last breath, but I usually get up around 2 or 2:30 to go in and check on her, and when I went in there, she wasn't breathing. So I called the hospice nurse because she was under hospice care. She wanted to die at home, and she did with a smile on her face. I called my cousin parents and Minister Carmen Adams, and they came over to be with me. So I thank God for her. I thank God for a mother like her. I was with her for 68 years, so I'm 68 years old, and I thank God for her. And thank you, tribal members. Thank you, tribe, for being there for me and my family, and thank you for welcoming us in the tribe.
Okay, guys, let's kick it.
Lord Creator, we thank Thee for this opportunity. We thank Thee for this unity of these two drums, Southland and Medicine Horse Singers. We ask You to bless their voices and bless their hands as they go forth and drum out for the nation, drum for other nations, and drum out the heartbeat of the nations. Give them traveling mercy. Go back with them and travel them safely to the place from which they came until they join us again. In the name of Creator we pray. Aho. Enjoyed you guys. Y'all say nothing else to say. Get one time, get off the road. I want my coat.